That's right.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Flipside episode 166. Tonight we've got comic bubble talk, crazy Cap and Falcon and Winter Soldier, and convention fun over the weekend.
Tales from the Flipside. Flipside.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful Monday evening. We've got the crew, a full crew with us. It's nice to have full crew every episode now. So I've got the CEO, Dino, is with us. John C. back in the house. I got Nico. I've got Carter, and Big Leg Sean is in the house. All right, guys. The first thing that we're going to get into is the Falcon and Winter Soldier fun. What did you guys think of Crazy Cap, right? Crazy Cap was the best part, right?
I hyped up on that juice. I loved it. Jacking them up, smacking them up, packing them up. Yeah, love it.
Well, I wanted to see that head rolling down the steps, though. I was like, get his head off of his body, please. Please, live on YouTube.
Oh man, that's hey, every once in a while violence really means something, right? I mean, especially in that situation. That everybody was talking about it. Everybody hates the hell out of that dude now. So he's doing a good job acting. You know,
I was trying to explain to my children how like his father is one of the most beloved actors and characters in every movie. And for this guy to just do such a good job at being hated, it is amazing.
Yeah, it's next level. He's or the writers and he have been able to basically make him the biggest ass clown in the history of the MCU.
I mean, he is like WWE heel worthy.
That's right.
I finally like a Captain America.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I mean, I'm waiting our whole lives to see him chop somebody's head off with that thing. How many people has he hit in the neck and just came back to it? Like, come on, dude. How resilient is a human neck?
Oh, my God, man.
So what do you guys think about the next two episodes? Who are we going to see? They claim there's going to be a big cameo in episode 5. That's they want to see him next to Thor. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
If anybody in the chat has any ideas, let us know. I see a lot of people in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you guys hit that bell so you guys get notified. That's one of the biggest things that we're really asking everybody to do. If you get a chance, hit the bell. It does a lot for us in our analytics over at YouTube, and we appreciate it, guys.
All right, we thought
hey, man, I got to drop them in.
A WandaVision. We thought that was going to be the show that just introduced like the plethora of Marvel characters. What do you see this show doing? 2 episodes left.
I don't know, but it's telling one hell of a story. It's doing a great job of just.
I don't know. What about the power broker as the General Ross? Isn't that? Why does nobody think that's a thing?
I hear a lot of people talking about that. So yeah, I think that is a thing, right?
Possibly.
This is interesting. This is a little interesting. Again, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's going to be Chadwick Boseman. They filmed it before he passed.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Man, that would be crazy.
I don't think so. I think he was pretty well down.
Yeah.
Well, we know how Mandalorian ended, but I don't see that happening. So
yeah. And the other one I'm hearing is Yelena Belova. That they'll just drop her in as the Black Widow. That is like there with U.S. agent, as part of the Thunderbolts team. That they'll roll them out again. I think that's more conjecture and rumor than it is, some sort of like inside tip. But those are sort of like the characters that I hear from the talking heads, not us, but other talking heads.
Could it be? So you had the characters that would lead into like the next thing? Could it have something to do with Loki, maybe? If they're talking Thor, right? If they're
so that was the weird part, right, Brian? Like, but how will that play? Like, if they say Thor, I think galactic kind of characters, but it's a street level TV show.
It could be Loki. That makes sense. He pops up unexpectedly, and everybody thinks he's gone, and this new version is there.
I feel like we know. I don't know. I feel like that somehow would have got out somehow.
Yeah, I feel like this is like shades of WandaVision. I bet you I'm gonna put my money and say nothing's gonna happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? I mean, it's not like they don't have the content. It's not like they've left things out of the. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody knows what's gonna happen, and maybe they just think the Disney Plus series or whatever you want to call them are just standalones in their own kind of thing, and they're not going to be hyped into like future things in the what the in the cinema.
No. They're building storylines. They just may not pay off now, man.
Yeah.
Who's gonna live? Who's gonna die?
Is U.S. Agent gonna live?
Yes,
I think so.
I would have said no before the series. 100%.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, but I think he's gonna stick around and be part of Thunderbolts or whatever sort of iteration they do, Dark Avengers, whatever they may call them in the MCU. Do we see Isaiah Bradley come back? I mean, he's got to come back at some point in time. I thought they were going to wrap it. I thought they were going to wrap his ass up like the next episode, and they can't just leave that dangling plot. Do they push him out, into like another series? That doesn't make a lot of sense, or does it?
No, I think he's got to come back. That would feel so wasted if they don't.
Well, they could just be opening the door for a series 3 years from now, Who knows?
What about Joaquin Torres? I mean, where the fuck is he?
Yeah, shit, I almost forgot about that dude.
Yeah, I would have said I would have wrote that dude off. Like he was just like a minor character, and then like poof,
Yeah, they just used a name, I think, on that one.
I don't know.
Ultra brings up the War Machine stuff. Could it have to do with that stuff? Could it have to do with War Machine stuff?
That's smart.
Yeah, I mean, Cheeto was already in it, but like, I just did, but that doesn't feel like a surprise to me. You know what I mean? Oh, cool, War Machine's back.
It could be this. I would love to see that Patriot, that Young Avengers set up. That'd be cool.
Well, yeah, it appears they're going to do Joaquin Torres as like Falcon. Obviously, Isaiah Bradley, his grandson, got cast. The guy that appears in the crew, I don't know if they'll make him Patriot, or if they'll make the proper named Bradley the Patriot. But you're definitely going to get some iteration of that, right? I mean, doesn't that have to bring Isaiah Bradley back and have his grandson or nephew or something as Patriot?
Yeah. It's got to be that. That'd be stupid if they did it any other way.
Yeah, definitely. All of that could be its own thing. All of it.
It's fucking neat. I haven't speculated on like shit like this with all these different possibilities in a long time, and actually not known what the hell was going to happen.
Hey, does anybody remember like 1989 after the first Batman movie? Everybody was speculating on what the next Batman movie would be. Oh, the Joker, he's gonna come back from the dead. He's gonna kidnap Kim Basinger because she's pregnant with Batman's baby. Like I've heard like so much crazy shit, and that's what this feels like.
Yeah, it's exactly after WandaVision, 100%. Where's Mephisto? Could it be Mephisto? That's Thor level. All right, on to the next thing. So we got a question sent to us. John, do you have the question so you can read it, or does Dino?
You're asking me to prep on this thing? No.
Yeah. I would love to actually just read the question. Right. Shout out to Chris Colbert, viewer of Flipside, who is strong, super strong in the community here at Flipside, and he sent us a question.
He basically asked, can you guys talk about the comic market, and everybody's saying that stimulus checks are what's powering this market, and trying to dispel some of the myths of what's going on here. So maybe we can
I can read it. You ready?
Little myth busting.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there a show that's willing to go deep on the myth that the current market is stimulus money and that the, quote, bubble is going to burst, end quote? This is being said everywhere. And if you talk to local comic shops who were around in the 90s, the market is night and day different. The limitations the local comic shops had when it came to sales don't exist anymore. And the order requirements, poor decisions in ordering are gone also. So, what do you guys think? Ben!
What's up, brother?
Hi, buddy.
What's up, Ben?
Good to see you.
What's up, guys?
Do we know with a Z, since he's the most prepared out of everybody? He's got his journal
So,
ready.
I got some notes, and I think I want to talk, just give some basics, because, the reason that it's not just comics. I mean, everybody's talking about bubbles everywhere. Bubbles in real estate, bubbles in antiques, bubbles in other things, sports cards, bubbles in the stock market. Like, everybody's looking for the world to fail. It's like a hobby of predicting the next thing to fail in America. We just think that way now. So, let's start there. That it's just people want to talk about it. It's clickbait. It's whatever it is. Now, we have a lot of reasons why the market is crazy. I mean, some of it is tied to, the COVID and the crisis. There's the policies of low interest rates. There's, printing of money is just going out, and which is causing people to think of inflation, and maybe they want to diversify their assets and not have it sitting in cash. So people are spending their money all kinds of places, whether it be in collectibles, comics, cards, real estate, whatever. People are putting their money in things versus just sitting on a Bitcoin, crypto, all these things people are putting their money into versus sitting on cash. Now, the stimulus money does play in there somewhere. The stimulus money is not buying Fantastic Four ones and Action Comic ones at record prices. I think the stimulus money is playing into some of the, $100 to $1,000 sales here and there. People that are buying books that they've wanted and just now have a little bit of extra disposable cash. I think it's probably paying off in the Wednesday Warrior game, where people have a little more money to go. There's also the fact there's a lot of people not working,
Grading books,
whether they're on unemployment and not working, whether they're working from home and go to a shop. There's a lot of people in all these things, whether, again, sports cards that went to the point you can't even get sports cards at retail anymore without waiting in line to get a pack or two at Walmart or whatever their restrictions are. So some of these guys who were getting easy money there maybe have figured out, hey, comics hasn't figured it out nearly enough. If I can give the first person store, I can make a few bucks and flip these books. So, you've got that asset, that group of things going on. And then, the other thing driving this market is nostalgia. We all got in, 10, 15 years ago, maybe now 10 to 8, however long it's been. And, it's because we hit that age where we got income. We got disposable income. When you're, let's say, 35 to 40, you really kind of get established and you get money and you can buy your youth back. You can buy that nostalgia. And there's just more people that happen to be in that same kind of wave as us that are building into this frenzy a little bit, because there's new people. Maybe we're at the beginning of this track of the 90s comics, and there's another group that was kind of at the end, and we're still piling onto this train. So that's not going away, in my opinion, either, just because people are buying nostalgia, and that's going to stick around for a couple decades till all these people head to retirement. That's a different time to discuss, but this year, next year, 5 years, 10 years, I don't think that changes. People want these items. They just remember them. We're natural hoarders and collectors as humans. And then you've got Wall Street and money guys just, again, diversifying assets, whether they're buying crypto, whether they're buying books. That Action Comics 1 sale, that book ain't being sold for a loss. These, X-Men books, sure, there'll be a handful of people that if the stock market crashes or some market crashes or something happens, yeah, there'll be some people that need to sell some books that are over overstretched in what they could have afforded. But a vast majority of these people are wealthy people that are just buying it as an investment. They're going to wait and not sell at a loss. I mean, Ben said it before that way. It's just these high-end books are not being mostly bought by people that can't afford them. I mean, we'll even have these discussions in different groups of like, man, who's buying these books at $30K? Not us. I mean, we're all doing fine, but we're not dropping $30K on books. There's a whole group of people that can and don't think twice about it. They're not worrying about stimulus checks. They're not worrying about, some of these things that people are always talking about are driving this market. I think the Wednesday Warrior thing's always a crap show. If the market bubble has a correction, I think some of those things will go to crap. There always are crap books that have been pumped up to a point that people are specking on them, think it's going to be something, show happens, they die down. That's always a cycle. But these real investment books, I don't think they're going anywhere. So
I got a point. During the Great Depression, everything was down, but Hollywood was still going long and strong. And in a lot of ways, we haven't learned from the past, and in a lot of ways, we have learned from the past. And the one thing that we all know is that pop culture is big business. And whatever you want to get rid of, no matter how broke you get, you might want to hold on to, like what comic books are right now. They're basically movie not paraphernalia. What's the word I'm looking
Memorabilia.
for? Memorabilia. They're basically memorabilia for movies. And or at the very least, they're something that you can speculate on as far as it being a future movie. You know what I'm saying? So as far as comic books go, I don't see that bubble bursting. I'm pretty sure it'll maybe go like just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as it just busting, no.
Well, and there's also different classes of books. There's people talk about pre-75 books as being the investment books. Definitely those are the ones that have been around forever. But now we're getting to the point where some of these books from the 80s and 90s, more the 80s, let's say, but a little bit of the 90s, they've been around for 30, 40 years, and they're still deemed things people want. So, the longer they've been around, the more mature that kind of hobby has become. The market, they venture from, collectibles to actual antiques at some point.
I'll go on this one. So I think that people are okay. So we got in, I think, early, right? We'll just say we got in early to this whole comic book market thing, right? So when we got in early, what books are we buying? Nobody's buying Golden Age books right off the bat, jumping back in, right? People are buying New Mutants 98s. They're buying ASM 300s. They're buying 316s. They're buying New Mutants 87s. They're buying, I can go down a list of 80s and 90s books that people are buying to get into. Wolverine One's limited series. It's stuff like that they either grew up with or can afford to a certain point. And I don't even think they're buying 9.8s. I bet you all these guys are buying all these raw copies or 8.5s and 9.0s and 9.2s to get into. Because how many? Okay, let's take this back to almost like Flipside episode 1. How many months or years did it take to do a 4-digit flip? Your first $1,000 flip, right?
Years,
right? So if you're somebody who's sitting on a trust fund or has an enormous amount of disposable income, you can buy whatever they want. You're not flipping. You're not buying a $1,000 book today for one book that you just got back into the market. You're like, oh, I know this is going to be. You're buying reasonably priced books at maybe a couple $100 to dip your toe in. It's like everything else when you start getting into the business. It's like coins, any kind of collectibles. Nobody's just dropping nobody's first books at AF-15. Nobody's first books at FF1. It's raw stuff, and then you're jumping into, bigger and bigger items, and you're getting more and more comfortable, and then 4 big figures becomes 5, and 5 becomes 6, and then you become the comic god. So I think that's what it is. I think all these 80s and 90s books we're seeing moving, it's because of that. People are like, I know that ASM 300 is safe. Everybody wants them. It's with liquid. I mean, it's books that like I'm going after, like Golden Age books that you don't see often, or stuff like that real people are trying to to go after. It's like, but for me, would you take a one rare Golden Age book that you don't see, or are you going to buy a short box of ASM 300s right now? I mean, it's the ASM 300s all day for a reason. I mean, look at our boy Scotty, right? I mean, he had a short box of ASM 300s that he bought for super cheap, and I mean,
I hope he didn't sell them all.
Well, yeah. So here's kind of my take on this. A couple things. One, people have confirmation bias. Okay, you don't have any good books, you're like, the fucking sky is falling. Okay, you're sitting on fucking a PCH collection and it's fucking cold as ice, and you're like, those are the books you need to buy. Romance books, those are the books you need to buy. Foreign books, those are the books you need to buy. X-Men books, that's where you should get in. I mean, we just have confirmation bias. We're human beings. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Trying to be objective about this, look, do I think an extra $1,200 for certain people a month and them not getting it is going to fucking destroy the comic market? No. Loss aversion is real. When someone pays $400 or $500 or $1,000 for a book, they don't fucking sell it for half price unless they're a fucking crackhead or a needle junkie or they're getting divorced or some sort of fucking craziness.
Some kind of bad luck.
Yeah, they'll sit on those fucking things. They'll die with that failed spec in their fucking hands.
It's like stock market, man. It's the same thing.
It's different from the stock market. The stock market, people are smarter. Right, it's even better than the fucking stock market.
No, wait,
because they don't have the emotional attachment.
Not your average stockbroker though, because let's like this. So if you're day trading and somebody's buying a stock at like, we'll say $15 a share, and they go deep and they buy $500 worth or whatever, and then it just drops to like $7 a share, you're just riding that thing to the end. It'll go to zero before you sell. It's like And
I think people with comics are even worse. Okay,
yeah.
Yes.
Because there's emotional investment and emotional attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what I do see happening. I see a loss of liquidity. Okay. So I see instead of, fucking 70 copies of ASM 300 selling in a week, 70 copies in a month sell. And that's when people are going to say, the sky is falling. But the prices will not go down. They just won't be as liquid. And that is a healthy market. That's a healthy fucking market. That's why, because there's two kinds of local comic shop owners that are like, don't be selling those books. You need to keep them. They're the guys that are super fucking stupid. Okay. That don't realize that that's what everybody does. And then there are the guys that are super fucking smart that know that collectors preserve the integrity of price tags, that when people take books off of the market and stick them in their collection, it solidifies those prices. I mean, that's the truth of it. So, do I suspect that you're going to be able to get a Hulk 181 or a Hulk 180 or an X-Men 94 or an FF1 or an X-Men 1 or, any of these like big, fire hot books for half off, 70% off, 12 months down the road? Hell no. Do I think that there are other books that are far more common, overpriced, that may come down 20%? Sure. But there's going to be a ton of books that are going to double and triple too, that we're going to be like, holy shit. And it's really going to be about what we focus on. And if we just focus on the winners, the market's on fire. If we pay attention to the losers, the sky is falling.
Well, I think there's always books going up and books going down. I mean,
Yep.
Even the big books take dips here and there. They're not 50% dips. They're usually 5, 10%. You'll get a few sales. I got one on the market report to kind of touch base on, but there's so many things going on in this market, so many genres, all are up and down. I mean, Western's dead and maybe dead forever, but there are other ones that romance peaks and valleys.
John and I will still be buying them.
Exactly. So I just, that you can't look at the whole market based on a couple of books. And I'm going to say this: if you are banking your retirement entirely on comics, don't do that. Make sure you've got retirement funds and all that shit going on. Be safe, be smart, diversify your money. But if you're doing this as, you enjoy doing it, you got the disposable income, don't go crazy on it. Just the world will work.
Yeah. So Stein, you had a failed sports card shop in the 90s. That's real life.
Yeah.
Talk to us, bro.
Yeah. I sold. I had my own store. Did comics and cards. Because that was pretty much the thing to do back in the 90s. That's just what we did. So, yeah, I was probably, let's say, I was like 23, probably as dumb as a box of rocks when it came to running a business. But, it's anybody who tries to, I lived it. I failed at it. Anybody who's trying to compare today with then, there's no comparison. I was at the infancy. There was no graded comics back then. Graded cards had just started and basically came out. We graded everything in the world because it was cheap, it was fast. You could sell everything, didn't really matter. Comics came in 2001, something like that. So it was just slightly after is when CGC kind of started. It's just a totally different world. I was on eBay back in 90. I think I looked at my eBay the other day. I've been on eBay since 98. So 23 years on eBay, and it's just a different world than it was back then. I was buying comics at wholesale back then, and they were like 50 cents is what I think I paid, because they were like $1.25 cover price or something like that, or $1 cover. You could buy 50 of them and it cost you $20. It was like, oh well, if I don't sell, who cares? It's not a big deal. Now it's $5 cover price. You can't buy 50 of them. You'll go bankrupt. So it's just the over ordering was just rampant back then. Can't do that now. No store can viably stay alive. Not even an online store. They just can't buy 50 copies of everything to just flood the market. So the market's different. eBay is way different than it was 23 years ago. It's not even close to the same. Now it's just, individuals were kind of getting in. That was kind of where it started, but a lot of stores were just basically just using that as a separate income source. We were doing shows, so it was like a whole different experience back then. It's not the same. Nothing about today is the same as 23 years ago. Not in society, not in business, not in collectibles. Everything is different. There was no chance that when I opened up a pack of cards and got a Peyton Manning and a Randy Moss out of the same pack, those were going to be $5,000 cards. No chance. Like, oh gosh, I can get $200 a piece for them. Sold. Like, that thought is not even a thought anymore. Oh gosh, a book that comes out is going to sell for $10. Oh my gosh, I'm rich. It's not even people don't even think like that anymore. If it's not $100 variant the week of, it's a cold variant. So it's like anybody who tries to say the earth is falling didn't actually live through the 90s and didn't actually see it collapse in front of their eyes. And basically whatever I had as an investment back then that I poured into it was gone. Now, whatever I have as an investment, whenever I got back in this 7, 8, 9 years ago, whenever it was, back somewhere in the middle of New 52, like issue maybe like 10 or 11 on Batman. That's the only thing that like triggers my mind. The amount that I've been able to basically corral and the stuff that I've been able to accumulate, just dwarfs what I was able to do as a store. And I'm not even a reseller. I'm terrible. You guys know I'm awful at this. I mean, I'm terrible. So the amount that I've been able to take from my $2,000 seed money that I got 8 years ago and pour into this, I mean, it doesn't even, it just makes my business look like I was a complete idiot, but it makes me look even worse than what I was, because like, oh, I could take $2,000 in this decade and, you know, times it by 20, you know, and back then I couldn't do any of that. So it's don't listen to anybody who says it's the 90s, because it's not true at all.
Sean McClay, come on now.
Totally different playground. Totally different playground. You got the third market, you got the secondary market, you got all these different markets. So I agree with Ben. That's my thoughts on it. I think that everything we're doing right now, all this new stuff, totally different. So
yeah, I think we're people that aren't brand new to comics are possibly overlooking their own biases. Like books that we knew about and thought about that we forgot about, that are getting reminded. Like Spec that was around like 5 or 10 years ago. Maybe this is going to happen. Like, you know, to be honest, you know, when backbin prices on like, you know, X-Men 4 were going up, you know, under $5, yeah, sure, drop it. But like, you know, those prices start to go up. You don't think of it as a, you know, $500, $700, $400, 9.8 or something like that, and you're just like, no, it's saturated. There's too many of these, and we were right to the point that we were kind of not looking past fellow comic book people and the occasional people that we picked up to play, you know, to play in the game. We didn't quite we didn't look at like nostalgia collectors or something like that. And if you think about it, you know, shit, kind of getting some of us kind of getting old. Like, you know, like the stuff that we remember being great, you know, being between 20 and 40 years ago. I mean, think about it. When we started, you know, if you're like me and started in the 80s, you know, and I haven't gone, not pretend I've gone straight through. I picked back up close to, you know, 10 years ago or something like that. But like picking it up in the 80s, like how old of a character was Ghost Rider at the time? How old of a character was Wolverine at the time? You know what I mean? I mean, I think, you know, there's characters now that have been around longer. What are we at with Miles? Like 10 years or something like that? And you know, and we're a little over 10 years into Ghost Rider when I started looking at comics. And I mean, and think of it now. So I just think that there's like a different perspective. Like I'll be honest. I'll go into an establishment where they may or may not serve alcohol. Okay, where they serve alcohol, and I will be like, oh my God, they don't even check ID here. And then they're checking. I'm like, ah, shit. Nah, I'm just getting old. Those kids, they don't look old enough to drink to me. You know? Yeah. It's really just that. And you're like, oh man, get with it, dude. You know what I mean? So it's just, I think there's just like sort of a perception amongst the comic people. So the investing side with like plenty of money and without, you know, 50 or 100 boxes of comics they already have that they've already spent however whatever that cost, right? They're in it with like, oh, I've already been doing well in life. I haven't had some freaking hobby where I've struck out on 1,000 different books or 1,000 different titles that you bought 10 each of, you know, something like that. They have you know, they're just like, oh, well, I can buy this one and it will cost a lot and I'll like that. And well, that was cool. I'll buy this other one that costs a lot and I'll like that. And I think that's the people getting in to play the game. You know what I mean? I used to tell people don't be a $10 comic cop, but now I'm like, don't be $1,000 comic cop.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's inflation, baby.
Yeah, let people spend their money where they want to spend their money. There's plenty of room in this game for everybody. There's a lot of comic books printed out there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to chase. There's a lot of books that aren't on people's lists that like stuff. I sold a Darkwing Duck comic for almost $300 the other day, right? Wow. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I couldn't find any out there, and so I listed it for like $4, ended up to $275 with no watchers, and I was like, all right, man, you can have it, and I'm just happy to move on. There's there's a lot of different ways to play this game, and also, I mean, how many? Do we even have any idea what's the average amount of comics with unique covers a week? 200, 300? Like if you include all the variants,
I mean,
because there's
an
call it 100
number.
titles, 100 titles a week. Average, you got to throw in your dynamites and stuff that'll have 25 Vampirellas a week, but it is what it is. And so there's a lot of stuff out there, and people are rediscovering things that some of us already saw and almost like forgot about, or even left behind when they start to heat up like this. So I just think that there's a whole, and that goes for people that really enjoy comics and are starting to get to know some artists that maybe they really like, and we have new upcoming artists, and there were artists around for a long time that like J. Scott Campbell or whatever. He picked up a lot of fans after doing a lot of work, a lot of interior work and stuff like that for just the cover stuff and the hot variant stuff. And he's, he did his own company. He's cooled off a lot, but like for a while, like people didn't notice really they knew who he was. They didn't notice who he was. Every ratio that he did wasn't nuclear before the cover was even released, and we're starting to see that with some of these artists too. The only problem is it's not ratio anymore. Well, it can be, but it's not ratio. It's, they get used up a bit by the stores, and I understand both sides. The artists get more work, people get more stuff, they get to charge 10 times cover coming out the gate. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to play this game. Like I said, being in some other flip groups and stuff like that with non-comic guys, and people botting out variants and stuff like that. They don't know anything about comics. I'm not saying none of them, but like a lot of them, they might not know, and a lot of them are starting to enjoy doing that, which is kind of cool. They're like, hey, they're starting to get into comics. You can start to enjoy it. They're like, damn, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like the they start to enjoy what they start to see, start to buy what they like, start to buy 2 copies, and I'm starting to see people like, hey, I'm gonna keep one of these. I'm gonna sell one of these. I'm like, well, you're catching on, So.
A lot of live people in the chat tonight. Want to say thank you to everybody joining in live. Please hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell. And I want to ask before we move on to our next topic, we're going to ask a chat only question so everybody can talk about this in the chat. RJ says, which new characters from Marvel or DC over the last couple of years do you think will have the biggest potential for the spec? So that'll be everybody that's live in the chat. Let's mull over that for a bit, and we'll move on to our next question. I'd like to see what all you guys have to say. All right.
Can I say one more thing before we
go for
down? The thing I think we need to focus on is not everybody's going to make money in this market or keep money, because there's people buying dumb shit and doing dumb things, and same as always. So I think you just need to be aware. How are you collecting? What are you doing? We aren't all going to make money, but if you're smart about it and you do your research and you make good choices more often than not, you'll probably be fine.
I'll add to that too. I think con season, everybody's like, oh, the money's just going to be flying out. I think there's going to be a lot of horse trading at cons. A lot of people are buying all these books, and like me, I got a stack of slabs. I'll trade them for something all day. I'm not saying, cash would be nice, but I'll trade stuff all day, right? I think everybody in this room would, hey, if you get a decent deal on a trade and you're a decent salesperson, I think you can flip something into something, very easily, and take the whole eBay game out of it and just say, hey, I got all this. What do you got? Let's do, it's going to be the NFL of draft picks, and you got a bunch of fun coupons, and it's going to be good times, I think.
Well, I do think the eBay thing, that tax thing, will change some of this Wednesday Warrior thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I can't wait to talk about that one. Can't wait to talk about that one.
Yeah. All right. So you did talk about the con stuff a little bit, and there was a con over the weekend that Nico and Carter just destroyed like normal. And it's nice to hear about the stuff, but I just get angry because I can't go. That's my problem. So let's keep the con stories going. Let's more good
He's
stories.
Really fucking pissed, for the record.
Oh my God. So let's get into it. Where was the con that you guys went to this last weekend?
I legit forget where the fuck where it was. Like yesterday was a blur. I don't even remember the city. I don't remember shit. I don't remember any part. I don't remember any of it. Hardly. Where was it?
It was in Canton, Carter.
Okay. Oh man, we had a good time, but woo! It was.
But how many tables were there?
God, how many do you think? I want to say. Listen, I'm bad at it, so I'll say like 40. I don't know. What do you think?
There's probably about 60 tables.
Okay.
It was a beautiful venue. They used a church auxiliary, all comics, no foam swords or gummy bear stations. And, if you're lucky enough to live in the area of central Ohio or the surrounding area, then we've got a lot of fucking crystal meth addicts and a lot of fucking comic books. And it's amazing if you're a comic book guy. I guess crystal meth people are probably happy too. But the point is, it's awesome. So, there's like me, Carter, Stein, Sleepy, Half Price Crook is here.
Paul.
Who never comes to cons. I've never met the man in person. It's like he's like.
Oh, you've never met Paul?
No, it's like a figment of my imagination.
Hey, we stood up.
Was Joe there?
I don't think so. I tried to get a hold of him. I didn't. Doc Joe, when we tell you what you missed, you're going to be mad. I apologize for not having your number. And
I think he found out some today.
Ozzy, I'm sorry. I wish you were there too. Carter, do you want to tell the story? Because I call you, right?
Well,
and
I
I'm like,
we're going to hear about
I'm
this
10,
story.
15 minutes out.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a dealer there that just got a collection massive, like just massive. Most, I think 100% Marvels, from the modern age on down to like Silver Age. You know what I mean? The last time I saw a collection like that was probably maybe 3 years ago, where a store had just got in like a collection of modern age Marvels plus variants. Okay. And I take a look and I see just a ton of keys on the wall, see a ton of variants up on the wall. And I see this. So we see this up on the wall.
Oof.
We have Wolverine #1 from 2010.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this thing is super gorgeous. This thing is black. If you drive your spaceship into this cover, it will get lost. It is that black. It is deep. Do you hear me? Okay, so we.
I am so nervous the way you're holding that book right now. I just want to let you know.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got control. You know how.
Most of those have those little white ridges, like color breaks. They're printed that way.
I can't even get my fingers on the other side of the book.
This is from. I inherited this from my daddy.
I feel like he's got they're like playing cards, like it's like a mini comic.
And so, I see this, and I see a Siege 3 of the Deadpool J. Scott Campbell cover.
Oh boy!
So which you don't see him at cons. You really don't.
What in the world?
No, you don't.
So you don't see him anywhere.
No, not at all. So I get that. Okay. Both of them were $1,000 a piece. And I'm like, I can't pay $2,000. I could do $1,000. How about that? So I decided to get this one, mainly because I don't know if any of you guys remember Hero Hunter 81 from back in the day. He used to do comic book hauls, and he had shown this book off. And ever since I had seen it, I'm just like, I really want this. This book had been on my want list ever since. So I wanted this. So I got this. And I called up, and actually, no, did I call you up or the other way
I called you. I was like, I'm 15 minutes out. It's
okay.
like 8:40, 8:30. I'm like, are they already letting people in? Did you get in early with your buddy? Give me the lay of the land. Did you leave anything for me behind? Right.
Okay.
I'm already breaking balls, and he's telling me about the Wolverine Deadpool, and I'm like drooling and trying to not like wreck the car. He's like, they got a Siege 3. You better fucking hurry.
Yeah, because I'm like, as much as I didn't want to buy it, I was just kind of like, maybe I want it. So I'm so glad that that George picked that up. But yeah, we were talking, and he's just like I told him about the Siege 3, and he's just like antsy for it. So so the next time, so it was like maybe an hour later, then I see him on the floor, and then he's like, oh, of course I got it. You know what I'm saying? So so I have one half of the Power Sword, and George has the other half of the Power Sword.
But that doesn't complete the Triforce there. Let's talk about the other book that was there.
Jesus.
That's the book that was there. Now, I wasn't there. This is all a third story. Now, I do want to say how
I saw it. It was real.
I know. How swamped was this dealer? Were there like 55 people and they're just yelling at them and trying to get all these books? Like,
not that I saw. It was like maybe one or two people at a time.
Oh boy.
It's not. It wasn't a lot.
Was this gone by the time you got there?
Yeah, it was gone by the time I got there for goddamn sure.
I just didn't see it. Maybe it just wasn't available. I really don't know.
No, it was gone before you got there too, because the guy that bought it, I asked him. I was like, I bought the Siege. Why didn't you buy that? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, why the fuck didn't you buy the Wolverine Deadpool? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, all right. And then he bought like major books for me, and I was just like, okay, cool. And he's a very nice guy. I don't want to out him because of what he purchased, but I do want to absolutely fucking say thank you to Adam's Action Figures and Comics, located in Edinburgh, Ohio. You can reach Adam at 330-518-7324. He's got a Beach Comic Con on May 1st, 2021. Admission's only $3. Lord only knows what else he'll have.
I might just go.
Yeah. Screenshot it. There's all your info.
Where's that at?
Edinburgh? No. Where the hell's that? Yeah. Edinburgh, Ohio.
Scotland?
The Beach Con is in Akron.
Jesus Christ.
I've never been so jealous.
Yeah, dude,
Beach Con in Akron?
Yeah. The con
what
floor
beach do they
was
have there?
amazing.
For those books,
it's made out of crystal meth. Remember we talked about that? So, dude, here's the craziest part. Like, there's that stuff, and then there was a father-son team. I told the son, who's a younger collector, probably in his early teens, that were just walking around buying every minor key they saw. You know, like 5-6 copies of Moon Knight one at a time. Remember the guys that I sold the Star Wars 1 to, the father-son team? And then I had like a little bit of a talk with the dad and a little bit of talk with the son, like watch Tales from the Flipside. I hope you're here, dude. They went from like being apprehensive buyers, they went all in. I mean, I watched them spend major money because I'm like trying to get ahead of them as they go table to table. And like they've got good taste. The kids got great taste. Good. And the dad had cash. And, you know, I was just like walking tables with them just because of kind of like the flow of traffic. I imagine that they weren't the only people there that were doing that. There was a ton of money moving. Dealers buying. I mean, dude, dealers bought big books out of my backpack for crying out loud. For cash. I mean, like major cash, friends and family. Bam.
Yeah, Carter, I'm going to do the same when we go up to our little con next in May. I'm going to bring me a backpack.
Hold on, I've been to that store.
Yeah, Adam's. Yeah, Ben did good there, man.
Yes, I've been to that store. I was like, that name sounds so familiar.
There's not very many stores that this guy hasn't been to.
That's true too.
Right.
I had the next best thing next to that set. that just made me so incredibly jealous because I would have been shaking while I tried to buy those. Is I had the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, the first and second prints. Not second, the second print of number 1 and number 2 with the sketch versions of those covers.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 9.9 set, the only 9.9 of each cover, and I sold it.
Oh,
Well, you still got those. You still got those other banger books too. Those Wolverine color and sketch, don't you? The 9/8s. Don't you got a set of those?
I don't know.
Remember,
Maybe
it's
not.
a skull one. The skull, and he's with his.
I got a I do have a
310s.
Wolverine 310 color 9/8. I
Nice.
sold the sketch because it was only 9/4.
Okay.
Should have kept it. That thing doesn't come up anymore either.
Yep.
But yeah, that would have been those are good purchases. I did, and the same thing as I had the Deadpool one, the one that Carter bought, but it was 9.2. Cracked it, cleaned it, pressed it, and actually traded, and came back 9.2, and ended up selling. I made good money on it, but like now it's just like I'm all, I can just get that again. Nope. No.
Yeah, for people who aren't familiar with the, I don't know what the hell you want to call them, the Bling book and the Wolverine Deadpool book, the reason that they're so beloved by guys who got in around the same time as all of us got in, I got out and then got back in, but it was because of the promotional scheme, right? So it was Blackest Nighttime. And Marvel decided to be savage for real for once. And they were like, send us 50 copies of the cover, mail them in, we'll send you a variant. And this was like in the infancy of variants. You had, the Batman RRP, that predated these two, but these were the first like real big Marvel variants to kind of counteract that Batman RRP, and it worked.
Well, congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool. All right, you guys want to get into some market report? Let's see here.
Oh, I gotta pay attention now. Shit.
Yes, you do, my friend. That is what you do. All right, you got it. I'm gonna go take a medical break, and I will be back.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to the beginning here. So I wanted to start off with a book we seem to always want to track. So many images are running behind. Sorry. Okay.
That is some weird noises. What is that?
That's my. Sorry, I got a candy bar. Apologize.
Somebody
was
mute
like-
George. All
Hey,
right.
his sugar level's low.
Ultimate Fallout 4.
I'm hypoglycemic.
Up and down, it was trending a little closer to 33, 3,400. Took a little dip. And this happens. Sometimes you get people looking, slowing down. It's not a significant dip, but somebody caught it on a downturn and probably going to be pretty damn happy with it. So
there were a couple 28 and 29 sales, I think, also.
Yeah. So it dipped before. It'll probably do it again a little bit here and there. And I don't expect it to change significantly, truthfully, because I think all of us would think at 2,500, we'd all be like, am I buying in again? I think that's just our mentality. Another book that's heading back towards records. This one, it was 3,000 a couple weeks ago. Now it's trending up to 3,450. Not a newsstand, not, just up. I don't know. Everybody spent so much time talking about what's the next Walking Dead. What's the next Walking Dead? Apparently, the next Walking Dead was already out. It was Invincible. I honestly am surprised. I really didn't think that the animated show would cause it to spike as much as these numbers. I thought it was at a solid number at 2K. It's a rare book. What is it, 7,000-ish print run, or even less maybe? I think that's the number, but I could be wrong.
Especially when they don't even know how to tag their own grade.
And you were a champion on this book, man. Like you were.
I was. I just didn't think that animation would do. Naturally, it was a rare book. People love the story. It's a rabid fan base.
Yeah, but that first trailer was fucking hot trash, dude. Like,
Yeah.
remember the first trailer? It was terrible.
It was.
And then And the show's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I sold my
admittedly
copy.
behind,
I did
but-
well. I don't care. I didn't have a 9.8. I kind of wish I'd had one, but I'm glad it's doing well. I just didn't think it would get this number. I thought 22, 25, but who knows anymore, right? It's hard to predict where these highs are going to be.
Cartoons that cuss, baby.
Yeah. It may go up for a while, and who knows how many seasons they can do. There's a lot of source material on this one, man.
Yep.
And they're not really going fast. They're about an issue or two per episode. They're not burning through it. So we will see. Speaking of the kind of old guard saga, I caught this one purely because I hadn't noticed one in a minute. Canadian sale was roughly $500, and I just more was thinking, man, this was the gold standard in independent books going, and some of these newer ones are already surpassing it in numbers and value.
Yeah, something's killing the children's already higher than that.
Yeah, you cannot
Ice Cream
buy
Man
an
has been
RRP.
approaching it.
You know that, right? Like there are no RRPs on eBay right now. They're
Correct.
fucking gone.
Well, do we buy this? Okay, so this is a good example. Is this the book to buy? I mean, yeah, it's $500, but you start storing them like one a month club or whatever you can afford, like one every 2 month club, and you start storing a small graded box of these bad boys away, and then maybe
for that book, absolutely. I like that. I've always loved that book.
I had one at some point.
What is the census numbers on 9/8 of this?
I didn't dig into it.
I'll look right now.
All right.
I would think it would be really high because this was not a low printed book.
No.
But it's basically, I mean, what was it, 52 when they stopped? What, 3.5 years ago?
Yep.
And I mean, it's basically, everybody kind of thought it would drop. I mean, it was like 350, 400 back then. It never really dropped. It's pretty much been exactly that number and just slowly gone up.
Yeah, ebbs and flows, but nothing significant.
It's pretty much never came down from where people thought it would because they obviously the book stopped. So
yeah, and it's a sleeping giant probably.
Agreed.
This one, Sean made fun of me a couple weeks ago. That was maybe 5 weeks ago because I pointed out it went from about a $225 to $250 book to $300, $325, and now in another 5 weeks, it's actually, I looked and there were sales higher than this one. This was the one that caught me, was $460, but one sold for $500, so wasn't a newsstand either.
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, think about it. It's fairly logical, and the fact that they don't give out the 9/8 anymore, that's where you should invest. It's not the old I'll just grade my own 9/8. It's not happening in that area.
You can grade some 9.4s.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, Saga's the same way for the record. So I ordered like a ton of those from DCBS back in the day in Mylars with fullbacks. Sent them or had them sold them to a buddy. I had like a short box of them. Long story. He sent, I don't know, tons to CGC and got like a 20% 9.8 pass through on him. I mean, they fucking hammered him with 9.6s. So there might be a lot of 9.8s on the census, but they ain't giving out anymore if they don't have to. You know what I mean?
Not at all, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how clean they are. I mean, that's not completely true. I mean, I can't. Some really perfect like bronze and copper. Actually, both hit some 9/8s, but let's just say that it isn't what it used to be, and which kind of sucks because you can look at a nicer 9.4, and this isn't across the board or anything, and then pick up a 9.8 slab and be like, shit, mine's way nicer, Yeah. And yeah.
And who knows? I mean, there's a lot of variables in that whole thing too. Postal services crap these days, and they're expanding. So who knows what's happening, where and how it's happening, why it's not as many 9.8s. But yeah,
Is that are you guys saying that is just for like bronze and copper, or is that on modders too?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hit or miss on with your grader, but definitely, I mean, bronze. I mean, come on, it's older, so you're playing whatever. But like, yeah, the coppers, no, they're not dealing with it anymore. You know what I mean? I mean the Spidey 300 and New Mutants 98 9/8, they're just they're going to be a lot stricter, and that's it. Like, don't expect to get them.
Well, and I don't.
Spidey 300 is a notoriously tough book too.
No, it's extraordinarily tough. Yeah,
and I don't honestly. I mean, I'm looking at it from the sports card angle. Getting PSA 10s is brutally hard, and overall that helps the market. It makes them worth probably double what they should be, just because they are hard to get. But it also makes nines worth more. So even getting 9/6s on some of these is going to help in the long run. So if you're looking to buy the 9/6s, I think they've got room to move on a lot of these books where the 9/8s are selling for $2, $3, $4,000. Buy those 9/6s. I think it's already happened in the sports car market that nines are now desirable when they used to not be.
Well, and I think it depends on the book. But yes, I think there's some intelligent buys at the 9/6s.
Yes.
We spoke of 300. I didn't want to post that one today, but its partner in crime showed up. 301, which I did do some census looking on this one because I always remember that this is a mofo of a book. It's always been tough. 203 9/8 of this one versus 1,386 of the 300. Yes, the 300 has been a more popular book long term, but this one has always been a pretty expensive 9/8. This sale kind of was a jump. It had been floating about a third of the 9/8s of 300, in that $1,500 range or so. It finally kind of just drifted back. It tends to live at about half of the 300 as far as the 9/8 price. Mainly because it's just such a tough one to get. I think it has a lot of the same production flaws as the 300, and it's just been a tough one.
I think people didn't bother to grade it for a long time. It's not as it's nowhere near as thick, so it didn't sustain the damage. It's not printed. I mean, there's less printing. I mean, I don't know,
but I don't see that it's not blowing up.
You know what's another one that disappeared?
It used to sell for more than 300 like 5 years ago in 9/8.
I looked. It never really did on significant occasions. It generally, if you followed the whole year trends, it was about 50-60%.
All right.
Yeah, so I think these are interesting. The ASM 301. The other one that I think is interesting is Hulk 182, right? The third issue in that arc. There are no high grades for sale on eBay anymore. Now, what I didn't do, and shame on me, I meant to do this before the podcast, was look at the CGC census to see how many times that book had ever been subbed. But I think as people try to pick up 180 and 181, they're going to want the 182s. I think it's the same deal with this one, right? As they pick up the 298 and the 299, they're going to want obviously the 301 too.
These are such beautiful bookends,
Yeah. And this was the one that nobody wanted, right? It was a cool cover, but people weren't really big cover collectors back then. They wanted 298 first McFarlane, 299 first Cameo, 300 the anniversary issue, first full.
Yeah. Kind of the same trickle-down effect. Our friend, the second print of Carnage, hitting 425. I mean, the first prints are busting over $1,000, 1,200, 1,300 maybe. So this one is just, high tide raises all ships on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew it was coming. None of us bought any because we're like, it's the second print. I don't need it.
I got one left.
9/8 or no?
Probably is 9/6. Just to play safe.
Okay. I think Leg showed this one that shocked me. He threw it in the chat. Legend of Zelda 1.
Oh, stop it.
Bro, I got one somewhere. I got a shit. That's a shame.
Project
1990
Rumored,
series.
semicolon.
What?
Project Rumored, semicolon.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. How about you take 1,700 then?
I got to get my copy of the CG.
Everybody's playing Zelda right now. Like, rumored.
So some numbers on this guy, just because I really had no idea. 156 total graded, 58 9/8s, 44 9/6s.
So there's more 9/8s than there are Hulk 182, but
yeah. The last sale of a 9/8 was actually in March. Anyone care to guess how much?
680.
400.
$500.
Yeah.
So big jump for somebody pushing rumor news.
Well, somebody must have gotten 50 of those fucking 9/8s.
Yeah, maybe. Dennis, is that you?
And then started a project rumor.
No, I've heard there's rumors floating around for.
Well, it just got shit canned from Netflix. Remember, because they let that was the news. There's been no subsequent news.
Yeah, oh well.
I will say that the
good.
project was canceled.
So I did notice
this market.
there's a variant on this one I didn't know about. There's in the census a no price variant.
Wow.
I'm assuming it means there's no price on the book. Only 15 copies of the census on that one, 0 9/8s and 3 9/6s. So,
all right.
Something to look for.
You could buy a sealed game for that much. Like on the SNES, you could buy a sealed Legend of Zelda for that much. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'd rather have the game.
Yeah.
I don't even collect games, and I'd rather have the game.
The gold case, dude?
Yeah.
That was my childhood, man.
Yeah, I'll stick that fucker in my underwear drawer. It'll just stay there forever. I'll be happy with it.
So this is a book I like, and this is one that I'm maybe going to kick Nico's ass for sort of talking me down from.
Jesus Christ.
No.
The ever more rare
out of here.
Preview of the NES with a shitty ass picture. I looked at the numbers on this book because this is one that I've bought a few of. I sold McClay one, I think. I have a 9/6 myself. There are 3 9/8s, 4 9/6s, 7 9/4s, 34 total graded.
Sorry, John.
This one sold for $3,200. I recall looking, there was a $2,000 sale in 19, and then earlier this year, one sold for $2,500, and I was highly considering it. And I talked myself out of it. And George was like, "You really want to drop $2,500 on that?" I'm like, "Okay." But I think this one is just interesting. There's not a lot of them. I mean, I know we see them, but you don't see stashes of them. It's a 8-page book, I think.
Yeah, and this hits like all the charts on crossover, nostalgia, so many different fans of this in general.
It's the supposedly
rarity.
First Valiant published book.
Valiant published book. This is a major book that is undervalued in my opinion.
When people used to like Valiant.
Yeah. Well, it's
I still
Nintendo,
like
man.
Valiant. I still like Valiant.
Cool.
This one, not shocking, but shocking all at once, I guess. It was a bit of a wow.
You think that fucking price is sustainable?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
There's not. I don't know. It's a tough book to find in grade. I've seen some, but a lot of them are beat to piss. I'm surprised there's that many 9/8s because there weren't for a long time.
Is it? Do you know? Have you felt the raw one? Is it like that slick cardstock like they did on a lot of their stuff?
No, it's like paper.
The Mario is?
Mario is like very thin stock.
Ah, okay.
It's very thin. A lot of them are tattered. It's a very. It's not quite the Sonic and being like all newsprint because it does have a glossy paper, but it's thin.
Oh boy, look at this.
This book is one that interests me. I think I'm surprised because this one doesn't seem to be trending up like everything else. Spawn. it isn't. It's more of a novelty, I guess, but it came with the VHS. There is 199 of this puppy and 4898s, 79 total graded. Probably it's the mini book thing always throws thing off, but for under $200, man, that feels like a pretty solid buy. It just isn't trending up.
They honestly, I think that book must have kept really well in there. I know I've got one or two somewhere. To be honest, I didn't even consider looking at them for grading, even though they look nice. Not that I wouldn't now, but also, mycomicshop.com. I remember at one point, because it was on my watch list, they had like 25, 30 copies. Like, you know how they individually grade and scan books?
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, sometimes they don't scan them, so I paid attention to that. Like, and I think they had like 15 of them up that they listed, and they're notoriously tough raw graders. They listed like 15 copies at 9.6 raw.
Huh. Okay.
So I think, however, that thing was sealed, like it got in there nice and came out nice. So like I don't know how many are out there, but they must have survived pretty well compared to most packaged goods.
Well, I'll show you guys how they survived.
Well, they're in a clamshell.
So
Be real, Brian McClay. What's up?
Yeah, this is how they survive. So this is a book that I've been buying for years. I probably have maybe close to 20 of them, right? And here's why. And I'll show you this. Not anymore. You can't do this anymore. But it's because you could buy these in the VHS on eBay for cheap because people thought they were just trash. And the casing does fall apart sometimes, but some are in really nice condition. They have there's two of them. There's another pink one that's it starts with a V. I can't forget what it is, but it's Todd McFarlane too, and it has Spawn. The books are always really trash because they've been put in this, but that little Spawn thing sat on the back end of the book.
Wow.
So it's in a good spot. It doesn't
it's his
get
own press.
tore up. Yeah. And it's got a little numbered card in here. You can see this card right here. This is numbered to what copy number it is. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I must have a box of just packaged just like these of probably 10 or 15 in the garage. Nice. Because you could buy these things for $6 on
in
eBay.
The garage in Arizona?
Yeah.
They're not all melted?
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right.
Well, the VHS probably won't play.
Yeah, the VHS probably won't play. You're right. You are right, sir.
Very cool.
So let me go back. All right.
How much are VHS players on eBay?
Where were you at, John?
I got you. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna do another Spawn book, but also a foreign for my boy Matt, who's been floating around the chat tonight. Those have been around a long time. Have probably seen this a few times. It's the Spawn. Says Spawn 5 German edition, but it's actually a printing of Spawn 9 with the, whatnot. CGC 9.8. I don't think it's a tough book to grade because of the hard.
Yeah, but is that a lower number for that? I felt like I've seen prior auctions that were higher, or at least one prior auction was higher.
I think it ebbs and flows because people don't think about it, but it within the foreign kind of niche, this is one of those books that people kind of found early. Kind of like the Turner Superman. There's been a handful of books that people go, oh, that's a foreign. I don't know that one. I want to spend some money on it. But I think this is starting to kind of pick back up in interest. So I was on a Spawn kick and thought I'd share it if for all those new collectors that maybe hadn't seen it and haven't lived through the spec cycle of this character, which seems to happen every couple of years. Another big foreign sale, true auction that blew all of us away in the foreign market. This is La Prensa Daredevil 1. It had been a few $100 for years, maybe $300-400. I even bought one I don't know, it was this year or right at the end of last year for $400. This is a decent copy for La Prensa, probably in the 6 range, maybe as high as a 7. But blew out all our kind of estimations, hitting 2,000. I think the issue is we're so used to there being, just cheap foreigns that the U.S. market is exploding so much that, if Daredevil 1 US is double, triple in price, and it's only logical some of these are double and tripling in price just because of, the major key itself moving. Then you add a handful of more players in the market, and it goes. Also, today I saw there was a 1.5 CGC version of this that sold for $975.
Jesus Christ!
So the foreign market is picking up. I know I've been beating the drums. I'm honestly almost to the point I'm not buying because it's at the prices I'll wait and watch. I'm not selling either. So, but yeah, some of these bigger Marvel keys, La Prince is a big one. It seems to be kind of the easiest one to translate over. People have been collecting the La Princes a long time. I did also see I can't even remember which one. One of the Scandinavian Hulk ones sold for $3,500 today. So
God
a lot
damn.
of foreign sales moving, especially on the big Marvel keys.
Very cool.
George, I apologize for this one. I know you have been talking about it, but newsstand Spider-Man 1, 9/8, starting to trend up just like all the other newsstands. The standard book on this is still, I think, under $100 or right around 100, but the newsstand is going for, triple that. I want to talk about the other one before I talk about this one. This book.
Jesus Christ!
First
Echo over Shuri.
Yeah. So, are we thinking this character is going to be bigger than Shuri? Because again, I can buy this one for $700, and this one I can buy for $1,000. I just sometimes doubt people putting money in some of these particular items.
Dude.
So.
Why? That's almost caught up with America.
Yeah, but she's America has no show of her own. She's gonna have a show of her own. She does hit a dynamic of people, with being deaf that is really never been explored before. It's a whole different. I don't think the $1,000 is out of range on this. I don't think that's crazy, to be honest.
So that's Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor on the cover.
Just when I compare it to this book, to me though,
We just got canceled. There we go.
You know what I mean? This book to me is, she's gonna obviously be a big player in the MCU, if not helm the damn movie.
Well,
and I think
for the record, there's
if she
different
gets
Shuri books that are more expensive. Though. Let's not fucking forget that. I mean, Christ, that fucking variant, the one Black Panther variant, Black Panther 1, black and white Campbell.
Yeah, but I'm comparing a standard first appearance non-variant.
Yeah, well, there's no Echo variant, so that may. But the point is, they're equal, right? At that point, by all assessments, and fucking ridiculous?
As soon as Shuri is confirmed as being Black Panther, it will be $1,000 book.
I guess that's what I was getting across. Is if I were going to dump money in one, I would dump it in the other one, because to me, 1,000 seems like the cap on this guy.
Now, ask Carter. I was buying Echo, Daredevil, David Mack covers. I'm like, is that Echo? Is that Echo? Yeah. Is that Echo? I took them all. Like, I don't even know who Echo is. I'm like, this one?
No, the only reason
that looks like her. I don't know. I've never read that shit.
She did a nice run in the Moon Knight. I don't know, volume 5 maybe. She was in that one.
Fuck if I know, but I'll try to buy those too. Thanks. David Mack, hope he draws the cover.
Continuing to gain steam. This one, I understand why it's going, but man, I just think to myself, how many of these did I flip for $30-$40?
Well, I mean, is that 17? The fucking iteration of the Thunderbolts that's even anybody's ever suggested ever? That's why that one doesn't make any damn sense to me.
No chance.
It's kind of, to me, like, Brave and the Bold 25. It is the name, but it's not the team. And
the difference is the Brave and the Bold 25 is a classic Silver Age banger.
But you know what I mean.
But hold on, isn't this team still the Zemo led team? So this, if if that is the first appearance of Zemo as this character, that's a big deal, right?
Team books suck.
Because Zemo, everybody's talking about Thunderbolts now because of a Zemo-led team, right? So they're going to probably do this type of thing. They're not going to do the
dancing.
What's that?
Do the video of Zemo dancing.
Yeah, he's a likable guy now. He's the likable Loki. He's a character people love. They're making him likable for a reason.
Well, then buy Zemo books. Don't buy team books.
But this is why
unless they're Avengers or Justice League.
It says Thunderbolts. It says Thunderbolts on it, so pay $700.
Hey, I don't know, man. Just showing this Black Adam starting to really peak.
That's cool though, man. That's a sweet book.
That is a great book. I love it. I think I have a copy floating around, not a 9.8, but I know I got a raw copy, but I have no idea where it's at. I haven't seen it in a long time. I hope I didn't sell it like an idiot.
I just root for Alex Ross books, you know?
Yeah, it's true too. So this one is the head scratcher of the week to me.
Jesus Christ.
8.0 Ghost Rider. Everything I can tell looks like the buy it now sold after this auction.
That honestly, like, that happens on comic sites a lot, and I laugh. Like, sometimes I'll screen cap and show people, like, there's bidding wars. Now eBay, I would generally like to call that less likely.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you'll see like my comic shop has auctions where they sell a bunch of books, and there'll be like a raw 9.0 auction up to like $60 when there's a 9.2 listed for like 32. And it's just because people are just caught up. But I don't know if they were both listed at the same time. I don't know if there's a way to tell that.
Hey, maybe somebody just really liked those white pages.
Yeah, I was gonna say the white pages might be it. That's a good point.
That's a pretty big premium, though.
Jeez.
White,
yeah.
Well, yeah. For I guarantee you probably crack and resub that 8.0 with white pages. It comes back off white to white.
Yeah, that's a. I don't know. I don't. It could just be people didn't see that one. Maybe that one got listed right after this one, and the seller didn't notice. I didn't observe them both up at the same time. I just know the other one sold after, according to GPA. According when I filter eBay, maybe somebody just listed it right after this auction, not paying attention.
Yeah,
or people were watching this one, hadn't seen the other one pop up, and bam. Either way, this book is freaking
was the
crazy.
$4,100 sale on my comic shop listing?
No.
Well, fuck. There goes my one rational explanation.
No, because I think they do the free ship, and then they do like it by the.
Good point.
They always have a weird price because it's like a multiplier of whatever the buyer set the price at the consignment price.
What was the 8.0 that sold before the 6,800 one?
4,000 range.
I set the 7.5 record at like 1,200. That was great, apparently.
So it could have been somebody and had it queued up and looked at the last price, and this one jumped about the same time. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, healthy, good.
Yeah, and this book is skyrocketing.
Dude's like some of our age now.
It's better lighting, better listing picks.
Yeah, that too.
Possibly, but it happens all the time. Like, just people just have no idea. Duck Joe posted just in a hangout of a book he bought, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't seen those on eBay lately." So I looked it up, and there's a $50 sale, and a week later there's a $3 or $4 sale, and I'm just all, dude, and I saw it was from a comic store, and I'm like, what kid do you have doing this? Like, do your homework. Like, there was just no other listed, so they just put it up for like $4 or something.
Yeah, well, can't fix it.
No.
I think we've shown this book before, but I needed an obligatory red chair sale. Ghost Rider, the catch version is on fire. It's not surprising, but I don't know. I guess I don't know how hard that is in a 9.8.
Did you ever get this guy? Did he ever email us or anything?
I don't think so yet.
No,
Very
he never,
disappointing.
he never hit me back on eBay. I actually messaged him on eBay.
Yeah, we're very disappointed, Pink Chair guy. We would like to talk to you.
So low key, I've been trying to buy a newsstand on one of these raw. It's been challenging to say the least. Everybody, I saw one in a group I'm in, and everybody just asked what the condition number one. There was a lot of like 1 through 5 or whatever they ran, and everybody just cared about the condition of number 1. So it's becoming a more popularized book. Obviously, besides
newsstand, I could see this high. I guess I just don't know on the grading on this.
Wait till the jackoffs that are spending $700 on fucking Danny Ketch figure out that there's a J.C. Penney second print.
Yeah, that too. Oh, so
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's
Punisher
tough to differentiate too.
Just trying to hit all the market caveats. Sometimes I get a little too focused on copper and modern and gold, so I'm trying to hit some of the mid stuff, the bronze, the silver. I stop looking sometimes because it's like I can't afford any of it right now. So
the record for that at 1,500.
Yeah, I don't like talking about this one. Ozzy wants to punch me over. We're selling a 9.4 a few years back.
I did get a copy for $40 once because it was such low grade.
I just want to see Spider-Man take a shot at Tom Holland. Or I'm sorry, Punisher take a shot at Tom Holland.
Oh wow!
This is the one book I regret not buying. Honestly, I've never had this book before.
I think they could do the greatest like Punisher adult movie / TV show, whatever, if they would just make him a Chris Kyle sort of character. You know what I mean? Like sniper, cool. And then you could tell that story well enough now, edgy enough now. And I love Bernthal. I'd let him do it and just kickstart it all over again. And it would be perfect.
All right. Hawkman. Caught a raw sale. I've seen a few high grades pop up, but they all get pulled down. So they're either selling private or whatnot. There was an 8.5 up for about $5,000, or best offer. It disappeared after 2 days, not sold, just gone. So I'd love to get a place to track. This was one of the few sales that was actually, an auction that ended. Me looking at it, there's a popped centerfold. It's decent shape. I'm assuming it's kind of in that 4.5, maybe a 5 range. So 1,500 on a raw mid grade is pretty damn strong.
Yeah. Is that one of the few DC books to believe in? I mean, Zatanna's coming to right. She'll have the same success as Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, maybe way more.
I think it's coming. I mean, the thing that's always held it back is the cover. She's not on the cover, but
people are getting used to that cover.
It's not a terrible cover. It's just not. She's just
well.
Not on
It's going to get a lot better when Hawkman's in Black Adam, right? Yeah. Like because the comic book crazies like us were like Hawkman, cool, but like I think that'll make it real mainstream
if they sell them. I just thought I'd share this one.
Yeah, that's another book I regret not buying.
Yeah.
I tried to buy Ozzy, she wouldn't let me.
Woof.
Yeah. It was an ugly ass copy too. All right, a couple golden books for you.
Is it just Resto? It's an SS Resto.
Yeah, it's an SS Resto. I was looking at that too. I was like,
"Yep." Mm-hmm.
At least see the yellow overpowers the purple.
It does.
So you know what I mean. And if it's like, how Resto can you be at a 1.5?
I don't know, man.
I've literally always wondered that.
It could be trimmed.
Jesus.
Yeah,
trust me, I had the 0.5 trimmed ASM1, if you recall.
But wouldn't trimmed be green label though, or
no? Trimmed is
it's the fucking purple death. But dude, I'd be fucking putting raggedy ass fucking jagged shit in this, trying to get it to go back.
Yeah. This is a beautiful freaking book.
God damn, that's fucking smart buy.
Pedigree.
Nice.
I'm sorry I didn't write down which pedigree it was, but frick. Beautiful.
Yeah, that platinum or silver or whatever that is still throwing me off.
That's freaking gorgeous. I mean, that's a tough book. All black. Oh, damn. Goodbye. Daring number 9, another
You
beautiful.
son
thank
of a
you.
Bitch. You son of a bitch. Why did you put this up, man?
Why?
I watched this book. How long has it been, Nico? How long did I watch this book?
About a week.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't pull the lever.
I did not.
Thank you, Style Collector. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you.
All right.
52 bids too, man. It's a cool cover, man. Pink Sharks. We talked about this.
Yeah,
Nico.
it's a gorgeous one. I know. We talked about it on Vintage Voyage a few times. I know. My boy DS is all over it somewhere.
I mean, and it's a 6.0 too. I mean, it's not.
That's a nice grade.
Yeah, I wonder if you lost out the DS because that's at least like a good loss.
I hope I did.
What's the last one here? And
Yeah, baby.
beat ass, corner cut, raggedy, but still.
Is it
a
complete?
beautiful book. I didn't even dig into it. I mean, it's missing that corner.
Yeah, but I mean, does it have
somebody
like
bid it.
does it have like a back cover and pages, or is that?
I didn't look for the completeness. I really didn't. I just
Like,
saw it.
it's
and went,
Sign too. I wonder if that's real.
I don't know,
Dude,
dude.
That's the
I'm not
name
sure
of the
what's
guy.
going on
that-
there, but that's a gorgeous fucking cover, man.
yeah.
Dude, that's somebody. That was somebody's only girlfriend in like 1948.
Yeah, I'm with
and that's,
Stein. I don't think that's Baker. I think that's like some dude.
he wrote his name right where he was staring when he got this when he was 8.
My gut, it's a one bid one. This was an insta buy for somebody.
He's like, I know my friends are going to steal this, and so I'm just going to put my name in big, huge letters, the first place that their eyes are going to look.
Yeah.
Well, he missed
Yeah.
it. He missed
No,
it.
he's just the first dude to have his girls get tats on their thighs.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, I tagged you, sir.
All right. We're going to go through these fast. There's stuff all over the place, but this is craziness. There must have been like 200 Probstein auctions for this 2020 Pokemon Champions Pass Charizard PSA 10. They all sold for this amount. There must have been 200 of them. I swear. It was absolutely crazy what these things are selling for and how many of them sold this last week. This is interesting. Spider-Man, the McFarlane era prisms. Look at some crazy prices on those. This is crazy. Magic the Gathering Revised Edition 11 sealed booster packs sold for 63 bids for $2,700 for like 15 packs, I think, maybe.
Is that the Lotus card?
I don't think so. Chat, let us know if any of you guys know what's crazy in these Magic Revised Edition 11 packs. I would love to know. All right, this is also crazy. Look at these. These are Yu-Gi-Oh starter decks, not Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh. Look at those prices on those things. $5,600, $3,000, $6,500, $3,000. Absolutely bonkers. This is we talked about the Martin Van Buren autograph, I think, last week. Here's some more presidential stuff, not autographs, but pieces of hair. A 2020 historic autographs George Washington piece of hair, a strand of his hair, DNA certified, sold for $687. And a same thing with John F. Kennedy sold for $560. So that's kind of crazy.
So you could literally like recreate those people in a few years.
Serpentor! All right!
Yeah, like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Presidents.
Just saying. Just saying.
Serpentor,
Hey, I
that's
think the
funny.
Marvel Now series with first of Deadpool, they might have used these cards to bring all the presidents back.
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude. That would be awesome if that's true. This is kind of cool. Another Jay-Z. This is the black refractor at a $399, sold for $2,200. This is from the
Oh my
05,
gosh.
right?
Rookie card, man. Rookie
Beautiful card. That's a great looking card with the green. It's crazy.
Whew.
A 2018 Star Wars Archives Signatures Chopper. Who signed this? The guy who created Chopper? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but Chopper's autographed card sold for $762. It was out of 23. Shout out to MCM fan Tim, Absolute Geek fan Tim, who he's built a Chopper for the cosplay group, which is kind of cool. But man, Chopper fans, $762. I don't know who autographed it, but it's kind of crazy. This was interesting. All right. So I talked about music memorabilia last week, and here's the very first Beatles, 1964 Meet the Beatles LP. It's worth more without the BMI publishing. As you can see, recent one sold for $2,800. This is kind of cool. An Elvis Presley original Sun 45 sold, just the 45 sold for about $500, and then a Beach Boys Surfin' original 45 sold for $2,600. And these are all bids, major bids on all these, right? So this is crazy. But here's something really crazy that I want to share with everybody. So I think we've talked about this quite a bit. And this is the Beatles Yesterday and Today album. And this is what the regular cover looks like, right? So the crazy thing about this album is that it originally had the Beatles on there tearing apart a baby. Okay. This is the original album for the Beatles Yesterday and Today. It got sent out to record shops. I believe this is what the tale is. We'll read this here in a little bit if I can. But it got sent out to record shops. People freaked out. So they sent the record shops like pastable covers for these albums. And the few that got out, like this is one with it pasted on, and they just pasted it over with a new album cover. And then they sent this letter to the stores telling them what they're doing and all this stuff. This is the complete presentation, the original album without it pasted on, the letter, and a pasted on copy, sold for $1,200. Right. This one is just the album with the pasted on copy. You could see up top the original part, but just the album with the pasted cover sold for $1,200. So this is a really rare, famous album in Beatle lore. So if you guys ever see this album, make sure to see if it's got the pasted on cover. And of course, the album that you always want to look for is this one with the babies being, the little plastic babies being pulled apart. They call it the Butcher album because they're wearing Butcher or cloaks or whatever. So really crazy stuff. I love shit like that. You can always find those like in your half price books or places that sell like records and stuff. All right, where was I? All right, here's some card stuff. I can't believe this because I'm a huge Lawrence Taylor fan. That was my favorite football player growing up. My favorite card growing up was the 82 Topps Lawrence Taylor rookie. And I always tried to get a PSA 10, but they were expensive. I thought they were expensive back then. But this is a Beckett grading 10, which is pristine, which is crazy. But the 82 Topps Lawrence Taylor also came. There was an inaction card with it. So it's kind of like considered as rookie, but it's the inaction card. This guy has both at pristine 10s, sold for $400,000.
Jesus Christ.
Do you think they're really 10s or, I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tough card, and it looks beautiful right there. And if it's by the Beckett, I think those are 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, just PSA 10s are brutally hard to find in that card.
Yes.
Okay. Say it's the most average player, but the card comes back at a 10. What are we talking about?
Depends on the set. The 86-87 set has super average players that if you can get them in a high grade, high grade, it'll sell. Or sorry, the 86 Topps, but the 86-87 Fleer basketball also. If you get them in high grade, they sell for crazy. They're common players.
Yeah, because there are people that do kind of like in comics, with the CGC registry sets. There are card collectors who do the same thing, and they want as many high grades for their set as they can get. So you get a 10 in a common, it's going to sell no matter what, just because those guys want that, and they're hard to come by.
I really love the 85 OPG Lemieux right now because if you look at, this is a 9, this is a PSA 9, and $5,400 for a PSA 9 is a lot of money. But think about where you would put Lemieux right under Gretzky, right? He's got to be the second greatest, or maybe you could fight that with Gordie Howe as him and Lemieux being second greatest. But if you can find OPG Lemieux rookies in high grade, and I would pick them up as much as you can because I don't think they've really taken off to what the Gretzky is doing, and Lemieux is up there. And it's still an OP. They have the same. You have an OPG and a Topps. You want to get the OPG. Super hard to get in high grade. Great card. As you can see, one PSA 9 sold for $5,400. And this is the type of stuff that Michael Jordan collectors love, right? They love the rare inserts from the late 90s. Here is a PSA 10 1996 Bowman's Best uncut atomic refractor. Sold for $9,200. Absolutely crazy.
And that one's greened.
Yeah, green. All right, here's the greatest Michael Jordan card in my opinion. I know the 86-87 Fleer is the one everybody wants. It's iconic. But this card is so hard to find that I don't even think grading companies will even grade this card anymore because it's terrible. It was horribly reprinted, right? Back then. The star sets are notorious for being reprinted. Very hard to grade, very hard to tell there's really good reprints out there because that's how they printed them back then. But this is so if you remember, the 86-87 Fleer basketball is considered Jordan's rookie. He got drafted in 84, right? So this is 3 years or 2 years before that 86-87 Fleer card. There is other star cards in the set, but this is the main one for it all. This is the Jordan rookie, in my opinion. If I could have any Jordan rookie, would be it. If I could have any Jordan card, this would be it. This is absolutely amazing. Here's an 84 star Michael Jordan BGS 7 sold for $21,600. So
okay, so was this book going back? Was this like in a magazine or something, or was it like different? Is in a pack or what?
The way they sold these is in team packs, right, Ben? They sold them in team packs. They literally cut them and print them and put them in team bags and sold them in team bags, and they would send them out. And I think they only sold certain sets like in individual cities, right, Ben? You could only get.
Yeah. I mean, they were the distribution was weird on them, and I mean they had different like little. I mean, there's other Jordan like in like the 85. He's got like 4 different cards, so it's got like they're all kind of different. PSA will not grade star cards at all. They never. I don't think they ever have, because the counterfeits are so difficult. And honestly, that if it wasn't the counterfeit question, this would be $100,000 card. I mean, it's the counterfeit. Even though it's graded by Beckett, there's still questions as to whether or not it's authentic.
Jesus.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I said, it would be $100,000 card.
Super rare card. Super rare. This next card is one of my all-time grails. It's I'm out here in Phoenix. I've been watching Larry Fitzgerald play since he got drafted. Out here in Phoenix, we were lucky to have 2 of the greatest community-minded sports athletes in all of sports at the same time, and Larry Fitzgerald and Shane Doan. I respect those 2 immensely, and the problem with trying to get Larry Fitzgerald cards is there's not very many of them, especially the good ones. The playoff contenders is very low printed. This is the SP Authentic patch rookie, which they only made out of 25. They've always been hard to find Larry Fitzgerald rookie cards, and this one is 1 or 2. This recently sold for $3,300, which is you rarely see them. I'm not surprised. All right, here's a couple more. So you've got the 2017 Panini Prism Patrick Mahomes Prism rookie, recently sold for $10,000. I believe Doc, Joe, and Trey both bought one of these, Sean, if I'm not mistaken. A couple when the collectibles first started, they each picked up one of these for like $900 or something, or $700.
Yeah.
Yep. Then we have, of course, this is a PSA 9 Topps 50th Kobe that recently sold for $3,700. And a 08-09 Topps Chrome Kobe orange refractor, but it's the Kobe with LeBron guarding him that sold for $3,600 with 19 bids. So absolutely crazy. Listen, there were card sales in the last 2 weeks, guys, that are absolutely mind-blowing on eBay. And I'm not even getting anywhere near to some of the crazy cards that were sold just on eBay. Here's some more comic stuff. These are all Marvel masterpieces. Look at the prices on these.
You guys still got a fucking unopened box of that shit. Like it's in my bedroom. It's my I got a corner of shame. It's like my corner of shame with all my Marvel cards that I was supposed to have already sent to Stein so he could look at them. Unopened boxes, some of them in sleeves that I mangled because I don't even know how to get cards in sleeves.
Yeah,
Bananas.
absolutely. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They think if anybody at home thinks I'm listening or I'm like exaggerating, I'm not. I literally don't know how to get them in the sleeves without like. Bad.
So what we're looking at here
Cut
is
the corner.
four recent sales of Marvel cards with each an average of one was 2,900, one was 3,900, another one was 800, another one was 1,300. Absolutely crazy. They're all PSA 10s, so it must be super hard to get PSA 10s.
Well, the other thing is PSA is shut down right now.
Exactly. And I saw a lot of raw card sales too over the last week. All right, here's some interesting stuff. I talked about the homies last week. Here's another set of homies. The series 5, or this is 3 figures sold for $51. My second grail for G.I. Joe is the carded Storm Shadow 84 Peach carded Storm Shadow. Here's one that's an AFA 80 recently sold for $3,100. And the famous G.I. Joe Starduster complete loose sold for $258.
Can I ask you something about these G.I. Joes?
Mm-hmm.
So aren't they all going to eventually explode in those packages because the rubber bands are bad?
No, the rubber bands, well, they're probably, a lot of them, the rubber band's already loose, but because they're in the bubble, they stay together a little bit, but a lot of them are already, even in the bubble, they're broken. There's a lot of them that are already broken. And also, if you didn't take good care of where you stored a sealed card and how you stored it, that bubble is popping off. So you're right, Nico. A lot of these figures are falling apart, and that's why this one sold for so much. And also, look how white the Storm Shadow is. That figure yellows over time.
What the fuck do you do?
Hey,
there's nothing you can do. That's why it sells for $3,100 for an AFA 80.
Keep
them dark. Keep them dark. Keep them cool. That's all you can. Keep them dark. Keep them dry. Keep them cool. That's all you can do.
I heard somebody say, treat them like comics.
I heard somebody say collectibles that have more than one material suck to deal with. Comics fit in there with the staples and the paper. These are worse. Plastic, glue, adhesive. I mean, use so many things you're dealing with. It's freaking tough.
Yeah. All right. One of the greatest all-time G.I. Joes sold recently. This is by far in the lore of G.I. Joe, probably the greatest figure in the lore of G.I. Joe. It is a prototype figure called the Pimp Daddy Destro.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a name given to it by G.I. Joe fans. In 1997, Hasbro decided to put out this Destro figure looking like this, but I think they pulled it back because it had some type of pieces in it that were childproof. It came with like a little a disc shooter thing, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Like a pimp cane?
Yeah, well, I wish. But they decided not to sell it, and only a few got out, and here is one of them. Pimp Daddy Destro. They actually remade this figure for San Diego Comic-Con, I believe, one year. Yeah, so you can buy it.
Comic-Con or was it G.I. Joe Fest?
I think it was Comic-Con. But yeah, here we go. Loose, 45 biz, $3,500. Amazing score right there. Absolutely amazing. All right, some more crazy card stuff. Zion Williamson silver PSA 10s are selling for $5,000. $5,000 for a Zion Williamson silver.
Hey, let me just say, Zion is going. I mean, in 5 years, you will probably be saying, "Why didn't I buy Zion?"
Is he that good?
He's bullying people. They calling him point Zion these days. He's running point over there.
He will be. In 5 years, when LeBron is gone, he will be the face of the NBA.
The only issue probably is, in all honesty, like as violent as he goes, like 10 good years is probably what you're going to get. But I mean, I'm not saying that's like a small amount of time for an athlete's career, but like, you know, it's just, yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean? Like Blake Griffin trajectory as far as, you know, injuries and violence and stuff like that. Although he's a lot shorter, but yeah.
Well, I heard one when he was being drafted that they were kind of like talked about how strong Bo Jackson was when Bo Jackson suffered that hip pointer, right? He basically, on his own, because he was so strong, caused his hip to pop out of socket. Well, they're saying that Zion Williamson is so strong that he could jump and just injure himself because of how much power is being,
He popped his Air Maxes, dude. And this, same. Blake Griffin's injury. That's why his rookie year was his actual second year because he didn't play a game. He dunked so hard he split his kneecap.
Yeah,
when he landed.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just insanity. So it's just raw power. Where if you live that high in the world, and he just bullies through people. He's a really smart player too. He knows the competition. He knows how to get through people. He knows how to play against athletic bigs and unathletic bigs and stuff like that. So Ben's not wrong. This dude might even be better than people were thinking.
I love to see Steve Nash get some love. Here's the famous 1996 Topps Chrome set. They're probably up there with the 86-87 set as one of the greatest sets of all time. And this is one of the cards in that set that for the longest time got no love, absolutely no love. And now it's getting it. Steve Nash rookie, a PSA 10, sold for $2,000, just under $2,000. Pretty sweet. And a BGS 6, a 6 of the famed Dwayne Johnson's Miami Hurricane.
Why didn't I buy that when we talked about that back
in
the dark days?
Yeah. $2,000 for a 6.
And just because you brought up, we're showing the Rock card on there. You guys seen what the Brock Lesnar numbered cards are going for?
Yeah. Another card we brought up recently, back in the day.
A friend of mine picked up the Brock Lesnar numbered. I think it's a $9.99 actually.
The Leaf one.
He picked up a PSA 9 for like $25 at a store like 6 months ago and sold it for $1,000. But I think the 10 was like $2,000 or something. Numbered Brock Lesnar
with the Vikings.
Cards.
Yeah. I think he has like 2 or 3 rookies, so be on the lookout for those Lesnars. All right,
any Lesnars.
All right, so this is interesting. 1940 Superman gum trading card from 1940. Sold for 35 bids for $2,000, just under $2,000. That is super cool because that is super close to the origin of Superman, which to me makes it even better. Pretty damn cool. A ton of these unopened 96, 97 Upper Deck Space Jam sealed boxes with Michael Jordan and Looney Tunes cards sold for around $1,500 to $1,700 this last couple of weeks. Like 4 or 5, at least 5 I saw. So I never would have thought I'd see stuff like that. The famed Tiger Woods Upper Deck SP Authentic golf card autographed to $900. I don't think this is as big as the SI card, but it's super, super rare. As you can see, a BGS 9.5, basically a PSA 10, sold for $30,600.
Damn.
Yeah, great time to sell it, right? Masters weekend. A lot of crazy cards sold over the weekend.
Did you see the Hideki Matsuyamas?
Oh yeah.
So he's only got a few. So I don't think I'm trying to look right now. He does have a 2021 refractor, which are getting bid. So I did, as I'm watching the Masters on Sunday, so I'm looking up the Matsuyamas. So there's a 2018 Leaf Executive Collection. I'm on my phone, so of course I can't show it. But somebody bought it March 12th. Basically one of one with like a full auto on the card from the Leaf auto for $25.
Wow.
And then on Saturday sold it for $255, and it's the same card. And the only other card that was listed, like actual cards, or people like making fake cards or something like that. Anyway, the only card there was an auto rookie, a 1-on-1 Leaf masterpiece with just his hand, and it went at $500 on. Went at $500 on Saturday, on Saturday. So somebody specking on Saturday with that lead, and so I mean so there's 2 1-in-1 autographs out there, and other than I see some there's some ones that are just listed that are actually from this year. So I think those are obviously pretty smart buys.
Yep.
And let's be honest, as the first Japanese champion as well, like turn on global shipping on your eBay. It might go okay for you.
Oh, yeah. That guy's like a mega star in Japan.
Yeah. Did you see the pictures of him this morning in the airport?
No, I haven't seen anything today.
So the guy's got this. Somebody had a picture. They sent it to golf. It's him at the a flight from there to Chicago to connect to Tokyo. I'm taking Instagram's word for this. The picture looks legit. I don't know. He does have a mask on, leaning over, and it's him just sitting by himself. Nobody knows where he is, and it's 6:45 in the morning, and the green jacket is draped over the chair sitting next to him.
It's beautiful.
I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, boy.
Dude is one of the masters. He's got his jacket and he's just on his phone. Nobody's there.
So I've got 3 more, and this one's kind of interesting. We've talked Voltron a lot on this channel. Here is a original Japanese vintage, I guess, like Poppy Go Lion. This is the original from Japan. The paper packaging. Yeah, the metal ones, not the big ones. The big one, plastic ones are great, but they're not as cool as the metal ones. Absolutely just stellar. And I'll show you guys some great pictures of this. Really cool to see stuff like this.
Where the fuck they find this? A warehouse? And that's beautiful.
Look at that.
Jesus.
And this thing has been played with, he said 5 times it's been put together. The figure has been put together 5 times. So he was honest about it.
Sick.
Gorgeous.
Look how beautiful these are. I mean, the OG. He's never pulled any of these out.
Shining.
Yeah.
Did he shoot? He had to have shot their heads off.
I hope he did.
You would do it right before you mail it out and just hope it doesn't break.
Sold for $18.50.
That's a
pretty damn
because
cool.
nobody knew to look for it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty damn
I
cool.
would have paid $18.50 for that.
Here's my last
a lifetime. Oh wow.
All right. So this is pretty cool, right? I've never seen these. I don't know what these are. Panini HRX Black Friday Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. trading cards. The Tupac sold for $600 with 24 bids, and the Biggie sold for $400 with 40 bids. But this put me on a little trip, a little search, and I saw one of the coolest things I've ever seen for sale on eBay that somebody won recently. It is a Tupac Shakur signed, handwritten track list, JSA authenticated, 76 bids, sold for $4,200. That right there is what Market Report is about. That right there is showing you the most amazing stuff that I might think about giving like my pinky for something like this. This is fucking history, man. This is fucking cool as shit. So that is the Market Report, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Who's got pickups?
I got a couple.
All right. I don't have any, so
I just got a couple.
All right.
I'll do a couple cards. I finally actually got one of my PSA orders back. I about had a heart attack, and it was only a 3-card order, but I'll just show you 2 of them. One, I sent this in myself. It's a Kobe rookie. It's just a base Fleer, but it got a 9. It's pretty tough, tough grade on that because it's all black. So really happy with that one. And then for those who don't know, soccer cards is something you probably should be buying if you're into cards. And this is from Top Sapphire, and it is a rookie. You guys probably have never heard of this guy, but his name is Ansu Fati, and he is like 18 years old and plays with Messi, but he's been hurt right now. And this one came back a 10. So
wow, bang! Wow, that was the one you were hoping for.
Yeah, the Kobe was a 9, and I thought it was a 9, but
what do you think that 10 sells for on that guy?
It's about a $1,500 card right now.
And that's a keeper, I take it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that for a while. I won that. I won that card in a break with Sapphire a few months ago, and
not bad.
Yeah. So
congratulations.
Yeah, pretty happy with that one. Couple books that I got here. A couple of them were for Chicago. A couple of them were in Kentucky at a half price books that I stopped at. So this was a really cool that book, whatever it is, Scarlet Witch 10. That was at a half price books for $2. So I wanted that. These were in Chicago. This one I never really see. It's a G.I. Joe number 5. It's a Con sketch variant.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. 142 or 141. homage, right? 140.
Yeah, whatever that is. And that same store had the Tankers #1, so I bought that.
Nice.
Yeah. That was a weird story. If you haven't read it, it's weird. And then this one I never see either. It's Let Me In #1. It's the foil variant.
Ooh.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so that one you like never see either, and it's these Dark Horse variants or whatever you don't see. And then this one I picked up at a store in Kentucky, and it's the Daredevil.
Nice.
Yeah, Daredevil 111. I can't get my fingers around it like Carter, but it is. Yeah, so I got that one in Kentucky, but it's not near, or it's actually I'm gonna grade it. It's probably a 9.8, but it's not, Wolverine 1 Campbell or Siege 3 Campbell or anything like that.
Not bad. Who's going next?
I'll go after the old man.
All right.
I bought American, and actually I bought American, but some of the foreign stuff's been in the mail for so long it finally showed up. Josh from the Global Comics Safari team hooked me up and managed to get me one of these
nice
La Mole Ultimate Fallout 4 foil editions. You couldn't buy them outside of Mexico. They wouldn't ship them, so you had to kind of get somebody. They were limited to one per person, so they were a pain in the ass to get. So I'm happy to have it. Looks gorgeous. Got some stuff from Brazil. This one probably came a little late, but got the Silver Surfer 3 from Brazil. Everything I've been told, it is an extremely tough book because it's also oversized there. So imagine
Jesus
blue and
Christ.
Oh my gosh.
Just doesn't want to make it. This one may not look like anything because nobody knew it existed, but it is actually the guts to Hawkman 4. They just started their covers. I think this is the cover to 7 maybe or 8, but they just started with a different cover. Like their #1 has #5 and #2 has #6 and 3 has 7 or something. So another ugly cover on Zatanna, but still cool to have. It was only a few bucks. I took it.
Oh, that one's way better than the American version. I mean, that one's got lizard heads.
Yeah, so that's there. This was a weird one I picked up. You may not even recognize this, but this is the Blue Beetle #1 from the second run before it became Ted Kord. This is the original Blue Beetle 1. Kind of a cool book to find, and it just I have no idea if anybody would ever want it, but I thought it was cool and I added it.
Nice.
And then another Punisher.
Bang.
Because, you can't have too damn many, and I wish I had more of the American and wasn't stupid and sold them, but I will hold on to the foreign ones I can grab.
I fucking love that dark gray skull.
Amen.
That looks hot.
Yeah. The gray, yeah. Instead of the white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
How about the gray boots, They did de-pussyfied him. So
no doubt about it.
And then I bought one American book. I've talked before that I have some kind of fascination with these. It's a Spawn 1, but it's the red label. I don't know why the red label amuses me. I've always enjoyed it. It was only around for maybe 18 months, 2 years when
I was
CGC
shopping
started.
for a red label for you. I think Carter was there.
I have a Secret Wars 8. And I think the 9.8s are the only ones that are going to survive because anything less than a 9.8, people assume hasn't been pressed and they're popping them out. So I actually won this at an auction at probably about a 10% discount from the standard ones. A lot of people are OCD and want the newest one, matches everything else. I just think these are unique, more of a piece of history than anything. But, why not?
Yeah, it was a Hulk 340. It was a 9.4. And I was like, I don't know if you'd be interested in that. And then I got the price tag, and I was like, you definitely ain't going to be interested in that.
No, it's one of those, I'm buying them on nostalgia books. I don't buy every one I see, but for certain books, I don't need a Spawn 1 in my brain. But when I see a Spawn 1 red label, I'm like, okay, that gives me an excuse to buy it.
Can you explain to everybody that might not know what red label means?
Oh, okay. So when CGC started, they had this category for moderns. It says CGC modern grade. and I don't know what year it was for. I assume it kind of matches their modern scale now. So, post 75.
No, 92, right?
Was it 92 they did it?
Yeah.
No, but what year books did they?
Oh, never mind. CGC. All right, never mind. You're right. Ignore me.
But I think it was, their modern tier at the time. They did this red label. It's the same as, you see the old label blues. It looks exactly the same as the same time. But somewhere in that first 18 months, 2 years, they got rid of it and everything just went to the blue universal label. It wasn't a big thing to be grading comics back then. This was right at the start of it. I'm sure there's a decent number of Spawn ones. It wasn't the only red label up at the time, but I got the best deal on it. But certain books are probably much rarer to find. And I just think it's kind of a unique way to display a book that's sort of common otherwise. So
very cool. Who's next?
I'll go. I only have two things. They're not what do you think? Thanks to my sister-in-law Lisa. She sent me gave me a Mandalorian pop, and I think she'd ordered it a long time ago and didn't come in or something like that. I didn't look it up, so I don't know if it's anything, but it was a gift. And I went to a Walgreens for something, and I'm not a big pop person. Just I buy the ones with the characters I like. I don't really know, like I'm not big on the market or none stuff like that. And I walked in and they had a Homelander.
Nice.
And so I was like, I'm going home with Homelander for $10 from Walgreens. And yeah, I've been on vacation for like 10 days. So that is the extent of the new things in this room to show anybody.
Who's next? Anybody else? Carter's up.
Okay. In keeping with the show, here's probably the second best thing that I picked up there.
Oh.
Now
Nice.
I talked about this in the video I did this morning, but so we have Ninja Turtles #2, first print, and look at that. Also, nice deep black.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty
cover.
copy.
The funny thing is, I just like when I came across it, I'm just like, I just didn't, what I mean? I just didn't care because it wasn't a #1 or anything like that. But I decided to take a chance on it, so I got that. I got like a whole bunch of other stuff, including a God of Thunder #2. You'll if you watch the video.
You paid nothing for that God of Thunder #2, for the record.
Well, you know how we do.
And that TMNT 2 is it's first April O'Neil, right?
Right.
It's gorgeous. He was trying to show it to me in the car, and I wanted to fucking grab it out of his hand because he had like other books on it. I'm like, don't fucking mangle it. So, like a stack of books on top.
So we and this and like plus another. If you've watched the video, you'll see all the other shit that I got. Healthy stack like that.
Yeah, he did
all
good.
of this for $200.
Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was
wow.
Nice. I'll tell you what. Would you like to see some Black Widow spec, modern Black Widow spec, real quick, expeditiously? Okay, so we have Ultimate Comics, Avengers #3. I talked about this, I think, in the video on Friday. Okay, so this is the first appearance of Monica Chang. And Monica Chang is, I don't want to say she is the Black Widow. And so this is the Ultimate Universe. So it's like, I don't want to say she is the Black Widow, but she's like a Black Widow. You know what I mean? And this book is super cheap. First appearance of Monica Chang. And she actually dies in the Ultimate Universe. And she makes her reappearance in Avengers AI #1. And where is she? There she is, right there on the cover. So this is kind of technically like her first appearance in the regular Marvel 616. Yeah, and this is also the first full appearance of Alexis, right here. She's an AI. So I dig this book. This is a super cheap book.
Good
you
stuff,
can find
dude.
Anywhere. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Nico.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor this with like a lot of shit because I've just been buying a ton of books lately. But thank you, Josh Allen, for this fucking gorgeous Todd McFarlane Sandman. He was also kind enough to send me one of these
Oh,
for
wow.
basically fucking nothing. I picked up a couple number 2s. I paid like $20 a piece. They're nice, but they're not perfect. Newsstand. Good luck finding one of those. Pain in the fucking ass. Grabbed one of these.
How much?
What did I pay for this? Like $60, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't pay much for nothing. This $8, and I was like, I don't know if I should do it. $1 a piece. David Mack all day. Those Echoes. Remember? I was like, is that Echo? Is that Echo?
Even if it's not,
Is
you're
this
fine.
Echo?
Yeah, just buy those $1, dude. Buy those.
Yeah,
Macs.
$1.
Who gives a shit? Yeah.
Paid $1 for that. I think I paid $20 for that. I don't even know how much I paid for some of this shit. But
You were in a comic-induced haze.
well, it just wasn't fucking much, but it was like enough. You know what I mean?
Get the hell out of here on that one, man.
Was that the Pressman?
Yeah.
I didn't buy the regular cover. I'm not an asshole.
Man,
Hold on.
you just buying every key you could find.
I did good price wise. You'd be really proud of me.
Everything that the
Dude, I'm gonna fly
damn
out there
son
next
didn't take.
time.
I
It's
told you,
literally
you
free
guys.
to go to shows.
It's made me
Three
so
of 'em?
jealous. I just want to go to these damn shows.
So first
Is
print.
that
Let's
first
see.
print? I was gonna say, is that first print?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive my
I broke
ass
down and
next
got the
time.
95. I showed Z this one. It's freaking perfect.
Oh,
I always
love
think that book is a reprint.
That Steve Ditko story. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I just pressed like a 9 on that.
Such a great copy, like so clean.
oh wow.
And the best for last. Goddamn.
Oh
so-
wow.
Yeah. I
Jeez.
did good.
Tough
That ain't
stuff,
done.
man.
Well done.
Not bad at all. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody that's hung around to the end. 225 live viewers right now. Please hit that like button. Please hit the bell so you get notified every time a new show drops from the Tales from the Flipside channel. We have a lot of amazing stuff every night of the week. We got a new vintage show that's going to start Thursday nights with this man right here. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming Thursday night soon. Another crazy show in the works. We got some action figure stuff coming. We have a lot of amazing stuff going on this channel. Please follow everybody. And thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. We will see you guys next time. Adios.